Hi, and welcome to March and Inspired Messages. This is Sue here, and I can't believe we're going into March. It so goes so fast, doesn't it? The months go so fast, the weeks go so fast. But that's great because we're coming out of the winter in the UK. I'm not in the UK. I'm in Thailand, but you know, I always loved the spring. And my birthday's in May, so I love that time of year. It's just makes you feel good because the daffodils are coming up. They're always so pretty with the yellow everywhere and the blossom on the trees. So it's a great time of year, and something to celebrate really that we're coming out of the winter and coming into the warmer weather and the sunshine. Although there's such a lot going on in the world, and it's not easy to navigate for any of us because we're emotional, spiritual beings, and so whatever's going on affects us at a deep level. Um, but I think I do feel positive about it, even though we're going through, these what would seem like restrictions coming down the road. Um, but I do feel that it will be okay. Having said that, um, this month, um, we have got some transits going on and things that maybe will, I don't know, will might shock us. We've got Uranus, doing its kind of bit of shaking everything and everybody up. So, we are in a spiritual war, and I feel like it's escalating really. And there's lots, as I say, going on around the world, lots of confusion, and actually we all wonder who's telling the truth. You know, even some people that say they're on the side of truth, we're not absolutely sure that they're telling the truth. So it's it, we're actually in the season of Pisces, aren't we? Which is ruled by Neptune, and that can Neptune can deceive us. We can pull the wool over our eyes. We can think, well, maybe, um, this sounds really good. I'm going to go for it, and then it turns out to be a scam, or it didn't amount to anything. So that's the season that we find ourselves in. So we do have to have our eyes and our ears wide open, and we have to take everything, I suppose, to a certain extent, if we're hearing things with a pinch of salt. But obviously, what we know is true, that there's so much injustice in the world, and the powers that be are trying to censor any truth in all areas of life, in any area, areas of life. So we're not getting the real truth. There's lots of propaganda, and there are good people um, still putting things out that I feel feels right, and I think we've got to use our um, intuition, our gut feeling, etc., etc. So I don't know whether you've heard, but France has now brought out a new law where if you speak out, you can get a heavy fine and or prison sentence, and that's if it's connected to the damage that the medical intervention has caused around the world, but particularly presumably in France. So I don't know whatever happened to democracy, where the government works for us and not the other way around, because that's how it should be. We elect them to do things for us, but it's like they're bringing in these laws fast and furious. anyway, for most of January and February, Mars has been square to Jupiter. So Mars is the god of war. It's in Aquarius, fighting for freedom and justice, and it's actually making a square to the Jupiter, which is in Taurus. So Taurus links to the body, food, farming, money, finances. So um, we can see the farmers, which I mentioned last month, are now out in force all around Europe. There are actually 19 countries now, Switzerland being the latest, and it includes Poland, Italy, Spain, Germany, France, the Netherlands, Ireland, Wales, and the UK farmers are thinking of joining in. And I did see a video clip where the UK farmers had taken their tractors to a ULEZ protest in London. So this is all due to the government saying they can no longer farm like they've done for centuries. This is all due to climate change. So I have included a video about the farmers in Wales, but I've also included a really interesting uh, video, and the links are under this video, on the deeper repercussions of this proposed way of farming and how detrimental it will be for the farmers and the people of the countries where this is happening. And apparently in the UK, there will be no imports or exports of food by 2030 if the farmers are not allowed to farm. Where's our food coming from? Please watch that video and share it to everybody, because I don't think people are aware of actually what the what the proposals are, what the agenda is. I don't really think. And there are lots of groups now gathering food, I would say, or organizing that they can buy from farm shops at the moment, but trying to get into a group situation where you don't have to go to the big corporations, the supermarkets, basically. And I did hear or see a small video on Sainsbury's proposals for the future of food. And basically, they don't want us to have meat. They want us to eat bugs. It's all going to be heavily processed. There'll be no goodness in it. It'll all be GMO. Um, and so, it's so important that if you can do something, even if you share this video I'm talking about, um, that it gets the word out, because there will be people who won't stand for it. And there are already those people that are actually sorting another way, a better way. So yeah, it's really, really important that the ordinary man or the ordinary person does what they can. And lots of people are busy, they've got no money, etc., etc. But you can share a video. And that's kind of one of the reasons that I kind of do what I'm doing. I don't have a lot of followers, um, but I feel like even if you touch one person and they go and do something, then that's kind of important. It's important to me anyway that I'm a communicator. It's very much in my astrology chart. I've got a Gemini moon, I've got Virgo rising, both ruled by Mercury. Mercury rules my chart. So I'm the messenger, that's what Mercury is, the messenger. So that's what I am. And so I have to do uh, what my soul needs to do, which is getting these messages out. And interestingly, I this week managed to get some Waitrose marmalade um, in in town here, and I just thought, oh my God, I got some English marmalade. You wouldn't believe how excited I was. Oh my God, it tasted great. Waitrose own, actually. marmalade. And I thought, well, if they're going to stop importing and exporting, then I'm not going to be able to get this. And I also drink Red Bush, Rooibos tea, and I managed to get a big box. I think that might have been imported from uh, South Africa, maybe. It wasn't not from the UK. But even so, if they're going to stop this kind of thing, then that's ridiculous. We've always we've always had traded with other countries for centuries. It's mad, crazy. So I think we have to do what bit we can to change it, and I think we can make a difference. So, looking at the astrology on the first, um, the Pisces sun is going to sextile Jupiter in Taurus, and it's also in a loose conjunction with Saturn and Mercury. So this can bring discussions and solutions, re the injustice and suffering of innocent people around the world. So that's a positive that's happening. And I think this is happening. There are so many things going on that are good. Um, like the bad, we're always going to have light and dark, yin and yang, can't we? Um, but this is good because Pisces is for the underdog, and Jupiter is always expands, and this is a sextile. So, and then we've got the Saturn, which is structuring, and the Mercury, which is communication. So this is bringing discussions that can do, structure something really, really good things. So if you've got a meeting um, on the 1st, this is actually tomorrow because I'm recording this on the 29th, um, then yeah, and it will be early. I'll put it out early because I'm 7 hours ahead of the UK. So some people will see it, but not everybody. So on the 3rd, Venus is going to square Uranus. So square is always a challenge, but Venus is the ruler of Taurus and Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius. So we've got this same energy at play again, this um, freedom. It's really, Venus is about money, it's about relationships as well, but freedom is the cry when it comes to relationships. And this energy wants freedom at all costs because it's a square. Actually, we certainly would like to change our relationship with the powers that govern us. um, but on a personal level, you may feel restless in your relationships. uh, Maybe if you're a Taurian or an Aquarian or a fixed sign. Um, but on the world stage, the people around the world want freedom from their governments. But, we can look at this on a personal level or on a global level. On the 4th, Mercury sextiles Uranus. Okay, so Mercury, communication, it's a sextile, so it's nice, it's not a square, not a challenge. And Uranus is very innovative. So ideas, can be unusual in some way, and you can make enthusiastic plans for the future that are maybe different to what you would normally do. Um, and I think this also connects to the communities that are setting up all over the world. I think particularly, if you've got a meeting on the 4th with a group of people, this will be good because people are going to be thinking outside the box. This is actually um, the the genius. Somebody comes up with a really idea that nobody's thought of before. So think about that. If you've got a meeting on the 4th, really, especially about what's happening in the future, then use it. I think an Aquarian might have maybe have an unusual idea because they do think outside of the box. They are ahead of the game. So if you've got an Aquarian in that meeting as well, then yeah, that'd be good. On the 8th, Mercury is going to conjunct Neptune, which is really good for visualizing a better life and a better world. The only downside, Neptune can deceive. So watch out that you're not deceived, not invited into something that seems too good to be true. So use it for the betterment, for creating the kind of life that you want. And again, if you're in a group situation, you can all visualize, you know, before the meeting, at the end of the meeting, just visualize what you want to the outcome to be. And you can also do it on your own, of course. On the 9th, Mars will square Uranus. So here we are. We've got Mars being the god of war, square the planet of rebellion, Uranus. So we can expect almost anything. Um, I would suspect more protests. Maybe the farming protests will escalate more, or maybe there'll be protests on other things. But I don't think they're going away. We've got all this Mars Uranus. This is a square. This is strong. We could also, because Uranus rules technology, there could be some kind of, I don't know, attack or something, internet cyber attack or something, I don't know. But I think, it is a possibility because it does rule tech. And on a personal level, watch out for accidents and be careful when driving, because this is the kind of transit where you rush because you're late for something and then you don't see, and then you can back out and hit something or something like that. So just be careful on the 9th. On the 10th, we have the new moon in Pisces, obviously ruled by Neptune, which can be idealistic, romantic. It can bring wishful thinking. So don't be taken in, and be realistic about the future, what has to be done in a practical way. On the other hand, you can use this energy in spiritual projects and ventures, along with anything creative, because this is, you know, Pisces is very creative, it's very spiritual, and so if you're thinking, because obviously this is a new moon, and so you're going to make goals for the next 28 days. So if you're thinking of doing something new, or joining a spiritual course, or even starting a creative course, like art, or pottery, or anything, stained glass windows. It'd be really good under this energy. Okay. And obviously using creative visualization, where you create a picture of how you want your life to be, would be a good use of this energy. And if you do the new moon ritual, you write everything down that you want, a plan for the next 28 days, and you create the ambiance. So you put some music, you might light a candle or some incense. Make sure you've got some space where you're not going to be interrupted, and you meditate and you put those pictures in your mind. This could not be better, because having a new moon in Pisces, it's the right moon for visualization. So I can't stress enough. You imagine if everybody visualized for a better world, a perfect world, a peaceful world, a world in harmony, where there was no wars and no upsets, then that energy would be so strong, it would materialize, because we get what we expect. So if we're expecting something good, that's what we're going to get. So this is important, and we do have the opportunity actually to make important changes in our lives under this new moon in Pisces. It's so important. The new moon is sextile Uranus again. Uranus comes in, but it's a sextile. So we may see innovative new ways of doing things. Again, there's a lot of this innovative energy or unusual solutions, and that's what we need. Um, Anyway, on the 17th, the Sun is going to conjunct Neptune again, which can enhance our intuition and meditation, and it helps us connect to the higher realms where you can receive answers to questions you might have. And this transit can bring out the compassionate side so that you may help those really less fortunate, because that's, what that energy is about. The 20th, 3 days later, is an important day in the astrological calendar as the Sun moves into Aries, which is the start of the astrological year. And we also have the spring equinox, which brings a new beginning for us all. It will, mark the beginning of spring in the Northern Hemisphere, and night and day are the same length. So Aries season is a time for initiating new projects where we have lots of drive and energy to get going and start something new. And at the same time, Mercury is actually conjunct Chiron, the planet of wounds, and the north node of the direction we should be moving in. So this can mean that the wounds we're all suffering, all of us collectively, are affecting us on a deep, deep level, and it's not easy, but they do need to be healed. Now, there are lots of opportunities to do that by joining spiritual courses, and I think if you're looking for something, very often, the synchronicity brings it to you. So I think if you feel like you need healing in any way, shape, or form, visualize for a healer to appear so that you can, work on your inner wounds. Because if you work on your inner wounds, then it affects the collective. The more people that heal, the better for the world. So on the 21st, the Sun is going to sextile Pluto. Now, Pluto is all about transformation. And so we're going to have the opportunity to transform something. And that could be huge, okay? And this can bring us opportunities, insights, and power, okay? And also on the 21st, we have Venus conjunct Saturn. So relationships can be enhanced and transformed. You may even finish a relationship that's no longer right for you. Okay. Um, Mars moves into Aries. Sorry, it moves from is it Aries? I'm not sure. But anyway, energy can be now focused on social issues and people who need our help. Okay. On the 25th, we have the full moon lunar eclipse in Libra. So this is the first eclipse of this year. And obviously it's ruled by Venus. And this can bring, because an eclipse is about change, and it can bring endings. So this can bring endings in relationships, and the effects can last way into the future with eclipses. But we must create a more stable situation and finish any unfinished business connected to relationships, because leaving it will cause more problems later. So if you're thinking, it will change, it might get better, etc., etc. I think, a leopard doesn't change its spots, and that I have this kind of feeling or knowledge, or I don't know what it is, that maybe when we're with somebody, we learn a lot from that relationship. They're teaching us either patience or something. Okay. And once you've learned whatever you're supposed to learn, then it's maybe time to move on. And so, don't hang on to things. And this can be to do with jobs, career as well. Don't stay with things that you know in your heart of hearts are not right. Okay. So, use this kind of energy from this transit of the full moon to make the necessary changes in your life. Okay. Because as I say, leaving it is going to cause more problems later. And helping with this, we have Venus sextile Uranus on the 28th, which gives opportunities to tackle stuck relationships and move on. Okay, so you've got a little bit of help on the 28th. So maybe preparation on on the on the um, on the 25th when we have the full moon, and then maybe using that energy on the 28th. So, all of the transits can be used personally, but it's also important to understand that we can use these energies to help us in mundane, local, and world situations. Um, anyway, I have a couple of video links that you find interesting. One on pyramids, and one on inside information that you may not have seen. And don't forget to watch and share the video on the farmers, which is really, really important. So this month, the affirmation is similar maybe to last month, but I do feel it's important. The world is a beautiful place where we all live in peace and harmony. The world is a beautiful place where we all live in peace and harmony. So I'm on Facebook under Astrology Sue Fletcher, and so I put the posts on there, the astrology posts, and my website is astrologysue.com. If you want to change your life, I have a 6-week course called Life Purpose Revealed, in which I give you tools to transform your life, which includes your astrology chart reading with me. It's been very successful. Um, I've been doing that course since 2014, and it changes your life very fast in 6 weeks. So if you're willing to put the commitment in to a 6-week course, that might be something for you. And I also have an astrology course on Udemy. That's link is on my website. Um, Astrology Made Easy, and that's yours once you've bought it forever. You can watch it whenever you want, as little as you want, as much as you want. There's lots of handouts in it as well, and that's been very, very successful. I think I've sold over 2,000 courses. And obviously, if you want a birth chart reading or a 12-month forecast, that can be arranged too. So have a good March, a great March. Stay positive. Keep those vibes high. Keep visualizing a beautiful world. That's so, so, so important, I think. And join a group. Join Stand in the Park. I've talked about that, which meet on 10 o'clock on a Sunday morning, all around the world. And there is a website. You can find out if there's one near you. So, yes, I think it's important that we're all together and that we have the support of each other, so that we can build this beautiful world, a new world. And the old world has to go, and that's why we're seeing all this chaos. So stay positive, stay in high vibe, keep visualizing, do the affirmation, and I will see you, I'm going to say, in April. So bye for now. Bye. Bye bye.